Shabbat Shalom. I want to talk to you this week about Jewish mothers in memory of Rachel, our ancestor Rachel. Vayishlach, our Torah portion for this week, contains so many powerful stories about Jacob, including his wrestling with an angel in the darkness of night, who then changes Jacob's name to Israel. That's a thing we tend to focus upon, is our own name, Israel, and how it came to be. Or Jacob's encounter with his brother Esau, whom he fears will kill him. And that's a pretty important part of the portion. But there's another story that's embedded here. And it is based on one tiny little line. And as usual, when you find that tiny little line in Torah that makes reference to something, you have to pay attention to it. So in this portion, Rachel gives birth to Benjamin, and she dies in childbirth. You know, often when we talk about Rachel, we talk about her beauty. We talk about Jacob having to work an extra 7 years for her hand in marriage. But we tend not to think about her, perhaps, as a mother. Now, this moment in our text is a really important one. It says this: Rachel died and was buried on the road to Ephrat, which is Beit Lechem, or Bethlehem, as we might know it in English. So why does the text tell us that she was buried on the roadside? And why in fact does Jacob do this? So there's another text that several midrashim tie in here. In Jeremiah, there is a text that says, "A voice is heard in Ramah. Rachel is weeping for her children." This is a beautiful text that many cantors have sung throughout the ages. One midrash suggests that Jacob knew that anyone exiled from Jerusalem would pass by this particular place. And so instead of burying her in the cave of Machpelah, where all of the rest of his relatives were, he placed her here so that she would be able to pray and pray for mercy upon the Jewish people. But another midrash explains that it wasn't Jacob at all. It was actually Rachel who was prescient, who foresaw this. And she begged Jacob just before she died to be buried in this place. Now, why would she do this? One reason was that, and some rabbis give this answer, that she wanted her sister Leah to be buried next to Jacob, that after all of the years of Rachel being the favored wife, she wanted her sister to have something, even in death, that was going to be lasting. And she did this because she loved her sister dearly and regretted that she had to be in a position of competition with her sister. I think this is a beautiful story because all of the stories in Genesis, or almost all of them, have siblings who fight with one another. And so this beautiful midrash seeks to bring in something different, the fact that siblings maybe the fights are for some reason outside of themselves, and maybe there's a way to reconcile. There is another explanation, though, for Rachel and for why she would have wanted to do this, and that is that she knows that if she is buried there, that she will forever be in a place to watch over her children. She knows that life will send her descendants into exile, not just once, but many times. And she wants to always be in that position where even after her death, she can be a mother and a grandmother and a great-grandmother to her children. It's very normal that at every stage of one's own life as a mother, we learn more about our own mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers and about the sacrifices that they made for their children, for us. The fact that this text is buried in the larger text is meaningful to me, though, because that sacrifice is not readily apparent. It's not something that's shouted to the universe in that typical Jewish joke made of Jewish mothers and guilt. It's simply just there. It's true, it's pure, and it's asking for nothing in return. So many times we do things in life because we want something in return. I mean, even stopping at a stop sign, we want everybody else to stop at stop signs, so that's what we do. We buy into the system in which that takes place. But we're taught that the greatest mitzvot are the ones that we do without asking for anything in return. My heart aches for all the women who came before me because I wish I could give back to them all of what they have given to me. And then I realize I can. We all can. Whether we have children or we do not, the love our parents gave us is meant to be paid forward, either to our own children or to students or to those we call family. We best honor the memory of our ancestors and our ancestor Rachel by making sacrifices for future generations selflessly, quietly. That is our tribute to our mothers. Shabbat Shalom.